Ein letztes Mal für heute Abend. Herzlich willkommen zurück zur Interwetten Baltic Sea Darts Open 2023. Hier aus der Wunderino Arena von Kiel. Die erste Runde live, präsentiert von der PDC Europe. Zeit für unser letztes Match. Kiel, wir begrüßen eine Legende. Ein World Matchplay Halbfinalist. Ein European Championship Finalist und Ladies and Gentlemen, der frühere Champion of the World, the Bronze Adonis, Steve Beaton. Sein Gegner kommt aus Stoke-on-Trent, England. Ein früherer European Champion und der frühere Back-to-Back Champion of the World Jackpot, Adrian Lewis.
I thought the residency of the official Adrian Lewis fan club would be in Stoke-on-Trent. Turns out it's actually here in Kiel at the Baltic Sea Darts Open, the last game of the first round, and a really tasty one to look forward to. As mentioned before, the walk-ons, two champions of the world, Adrian Lewis achieving the double in 2011 and 2012. You've got to go back to the mid-90s for Steve Beaton's BDO success. But years later, he still has that insatiable appetite for the game. No signs of slowing down, no signs of any impending retirement. He's here ready for another year of the Euro Tour. And these two are former Euro Tour winners. There's a nice bit of symmetry as well, because in 2012, in the debut year of the Euro Tour, Adrian Lewis won the German Darts Masters. In 2013, Steve Beaton picked up his European Tour title in the same tournament. Paul Nicholson is alongside me, and Paul, when the draw was made, this was probably the fixture alongside Wade v Barney that stood out to me the most, because it's two grizzled veterans of the game, but they've still got an awful lot to offer.
Yeah, very much so. I think grizzled veteran is very fitting for Steve Beaton. I think Adrian Lewis might think that grizzled veteran he may be in about 5 or 10 years, but considering how long he's been around, I think that's pretty fair indeed.
If you're listening back, Adrian, That's exactly why. You've been around since you were a kid.
430, sir.
Only 38 years old, Adrian Lewis. There's still an awful lot more in the tank, you feel.
Well, James Wade is only 39. He's been around 20 years and winning for, I think it's 22 years on the circuit, or circuits that he's been playing in. Adrian Lewis has been around for the best part of 2 decades. But I think what you said about their Euro Tour success is very apt, because it's been 11 years now since Adrian Lewis won on the Euro Tour, and that's his only victory. That's a strange anomaly. And Beaton has only ever won in Germany in his career once. And that was his Euro Tour success.
The 14 darter is a nice start to his campaign. Crunching the numbers this year so far for Adrian Lewis, he's actually 9th on the average list on the 4 Pro Tours we've had. But he's only played 6 games. He reached the round of 32, where he lost to Raymond van Barneveld last Sunday. 3 first-round exits preceded that. So it's been a far from ideal start to the year for Jackpot. But at least he can be comforted by the fact that he's throwing well, as Steve Beaton throws 3 darts very well there. Lands his and the game's first maximum.
It shouldn't be the last. As for the form book as to who could possibly win this one, talk about a 50-50 for me. This is the epitome of it right now. Lewis's form, well, it's questionable. We know he's won a tournament or 2 in the last few seasons. Beaton's been to a final at the end of last season. I think we're still in the sort of suck it and see situation with these 2 at the start of this season. What we have is a game at 1-all. Very fair for the first exchanges of what is a pretty decent game.
14 followed by 12. Adrian hoping to make it an even better figure than that. A single figure, perhaps.
Are you teasing us, Dan?
95.
I wouldn't dare.
Just don't talk about it. That's the way you get such things. A bit like when Steve Beaton got his 9 darter on the European Tour in Saarbrücken in front of about 200 people. Didn't make it less sexy, Steve. It was a great perfect leg.
96.
He's not noted as someone who gets lots of 9 darters, but Adrian is. He's had plenty of biggies in Europe. And maybe one of his best came in this country in the semi-finals of the European Championship almost 12 years ago against Raymond van Barneveld. If you've never seen that one from Dusseldorf, you might want to have a look at it. It's got a certainly relaxed feel to it.
It was almost like he wasn't looking at the board.
He didn't have to.
And that was the period when Adrian Lewis was heralded, if not the best in the world, maybe the most naturally talented player in the world. He still is one of the most naturally talented.
He's being pushed here in a very good way, and he's getting the best out of himself because he's got Steve Beaton on his tail all the time. Now, we are 3 legs into this match. If this continues in this vein, we're talking about one of the greatest European Tour matches ever.
Maybe we've saved the best till last.
Are you a dessert kind of guy, Dan? Because this is almost the cherry on the top of the Knickerbocker glory.
Yeah, I think I'm more main course dessert than starter.
More savoury than sweet. So you must have really liked Wade against Barneveld then, or Hempel versus Veenstra.
Yeah, the starters this evening, I am more of a dessert man when it comes to European Tour darts.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a bit of late night beating, which is a phrase that was first coined by our colleague Dan Dawson, who I'm sure is watching this one quite close to the stage.
With love hearts for eyes.
That's about right. It's a difficult time to play it, around 10:30 local time. It's a long time to be sitting around, but it's something that Adrian and Steve get a lot because they are premium draws. They want to save great players for the end of the session to keep people in this arena, which, when I look at this arena, nobody's leaving yet.
140.
He's going to follow that straight in.
Are we going to see another world-class leg? Yes, we are. What a great leg that is. What a great game we're having. 14 darter, 12, 13, 15. Well, we've got a little sequence going here. So we need an 11 and a 16. Or if we go in the direction of the 11, we can get a 10 and a 9.
140.
Not asking much. Promise.
Well, the way that these two players have started the game, would you back against it?
Well, we did get a 10 darter earlier, didn't we? From Nico Springer.
Yeah, that was a really high-quality game against Jermaine Watamino. The highlight of the afternoon session, at least.
Got to say, I'm really looking forward to seeing the world champion against Nico Springer tomorrow, and I think Michael Smith knows the threat of Springer. He will fully understand that playing Nico in his country will be a very tough test.
It's almost not man on man, it's man on 3,000 men and women.
123.
Going to be a packed house here over the weekend. Don't miss all of the coverage, because I, to this point, have got no clue who the favourite is for this title. It is right up in the air. Just like it was in the first European Tour event of 2022, when we made the final of Peter Wright and Gezi Price, and the winner went to world number 1. Not going to have anything like that this weekend, but we could indeed have drama over the next couple of days.
Very hard to pick a winner in the tournament overall.
93.
Steve Beaton might pick the pocket of Adrian Lewis. And that's a lovely 14 darter to break the throw, so we are still within that 12 to 15 dart threshold.
This is some performance from Beaton. He averaged 92 in beating Mike Kuyvenhoven in qualifying, then 87 to beat Jeffrey Desvan. But this is just a little bit better. His first 9 and his overall average are quite similar. 109 for his first 9. 108 for the overall average. You don't see Steve Beaton averaging at this height very often. This is prime 1996 world champion Steve Beaton.
And all this is after last weekend when he came up dry in the Players' Championships. First round exits to Ross Montgomery and Joe Cullen. But he did reach the final of the final Players' Championship at the end of 2022, losing out to James Wade. And that result provisionally does put him in the spots for the match play.
68.
That's incredible toss from Adrian Lewis, isn't it? But Beaton, who trims the 24 off and leaves tops, is forcing Lewis to take this 137. He's going south first. Treble would have left 2 double tops. And Beaton again on a double after 12 is maintaining this incredible level. Double 10. Oh, it's a great 15 darter in the end. And his average might plummet to 107. But Beaton is just doing what he's never done on the European Tour stage. Not to this sort of level. Now, last year, he did actually register an average personal best in qualifying for the German Darts Open against Jonathan Worsley. 118.19, his best average ever. If he was to maintain this 106.5, it would be his best average in a European Tour win ever.
140.
Well, I'll go back to what I said at the start. Not slowing down. And he does play in all the events. He's not one of these players who will occasionally pick and choose. I mean, he's not high enough in the rankings to almost earn the right to do that. But you can just tell with Steve Beaton, he loves darts more than he's ever done, or as much at least.
There are certain opponents that he really does get something from. The pace of Lewis suits him. He knows exactly what he's going to get. He's going to get respect and speed and quality. And it fires him up. Look at the focus.
439.
Well, that was a bit odd. He had 91 left, right? So why didn't he go for treble 17? Now, I'm questioning someone who's averaging 107, but that was a mistake. But it's only a mistake if he misses this.
Well, maybe he was feeling so confident, he thought, let's have a crack at double 17, double 6. Here's the recipe for success. Steve Beaton, one leg away from victory.
Extraordinary.
Game on.
His winning legs, 12, 15, 14, 15 and 15. This is a remarkably consistent, brilliant performance from a legendary human being. And Adrian Lewis right now is probably the only person in the world who doesn't like Steve. But he will respect him for what he's doing. Could we end the day on a 9-darter? No. That was just asking too much.
95.
It's ticked many boxes as the first day of this new Baltic Sea Darts Open tournament. 9-darter box not yet ticked, but we're only a third of the way through.
100.
Adrian Lewis must wonder what's hitting. Steve Beaton, I don't think he expected to produce levels like this.
140.
His personal best average for a Euro Tour win was in the tournament that he won in 2013 when he beat Mick Todd with 103.66. If he clicks this 86, it's going to be PB time. And he might just do it on the ball.
61. Adrian, you require 81.
That would have been a spectacular way to win it. This has to go, Adrian. Well for ball.
49.
That's a good leave. So that's about as positive
25.
as it might get. To end the day as a winner.
Game shot.
Steve
And
Beaton
the
does end the day
Steve
as a
Beaton.
winner. And that is the performance of the tournament so far. All Adrian Lewis could do is offer a handshaking congratulations. He averaged 99, but Steve Beaton, 106. He's the oldest player competing in this tournament. He looked fresh as a daisy up on stage. Even late at night, he gets another handshake from Adrian Lewis, acknowledging Steve Beaton's brilliance. That's the end of round one of the Baltic Sea Darts Open. And you know what? We've enjoyed it so much, I think we'll come back and do it all again tomorrow. But to end the evening on a high, let's hear from Steve now with Phil Brzezinski.